Hi guys, I'm Rich from NeoWin, and today we're unboxing the HP Envy X360 13. So, what's new about this? One, it's got pretty much an all-new design. It's got, let me see, it's got a 88% screen-to-body ratio now, narrower bezels. HP is kind of promising a 13-inch laptop and an 11-inch footprint, which I don't know quite how true that is, but the bezels are slimmed down a lot. The footprint is 17.36 millimeters smaller. Now, the thing is, I mean, you got Dell promising a 13-inch laptop and an 11-inch footprint with the XPS. And that clearly has narrower bezels than this one does. In fact, the Spectre X360 has narrower bezels than this one does. So, I mean, maybe we want to call it a 13-inch laptop and a 12-inch footprint. And also, I mean, this is with respect to laptops that came out a few years ago, right? Because now a premium 13-inch laptop, you know, has narrow bezels, but this is a premium device. You know, Spectre's the flagship, and right below that you get Envy. So it's an aluminum device. It's Nightfall Black is what they're calling it, I believe. But it doesn't have the accents that we've seen on some other devices. You know something? HP actually has two logos. You notice there's a little piece of tape on there. It's weird. Anyway, you notice it's got that logo. The other one is round, and that's what you'll see on pavilions and stuff. And that's an easy way to tell if you're looking at a premium device or if it's something that's meant to be more mainstream. They really went to town on the tape here. So let's just... All right, let's get it open. And here we have it. The HP Envy X360 13. The other thing that's really cool about this and makes it really interesting is that it has the AMD Ryzen 5 4500U processor. So that's the new AMD Ryzen 4000 series, which is built on a 7nm process. Remember, Intel is still at 10nm, and they're still kind of trying to nail that down with Ice Lake. Ice Lake is 10nm, but they had to reduce the clock speed to get there, and they also couldn't produce enough of them. That's why you still have Comet Lake in mobile PCs, and then the entire rest of the lineup is still Comet Lake, which is 14nm. You know, the H series, S series, that's all Comet Lake. Ice Lake is only in, you know, a select amount of of Ultrabooks. And remember, business Ultrabooks, all business laptop Ultrabooks are also Comet Lake because that's the only one that they made V Pro for. So Intel delayed 10nm for a long time, and here AMD is at 7nm. And I gotta say, it's pretty impressive. From what I've seen so far from Ryzen 4000, I have another laptop that has a Ryzen 5 4500U, and it's super impressive. Like, it's up there with like a mobile i7 from Intel. It's really nice. So let's see what else is in here in the box. We've got the charger. One thing that HP did not send is it's a 65 watt charger. It's a barrel charger, which is weird. You know, it's one of those things that sticks out to me when you get something that's not in the premium line, or not in the flagship line, but it's still meant to be premium. They make these weird compromises sometimes. Like, why do we still have a barrel charger? This is a consumer laptop, you know, and it's premium. It should be USB Type-C, like all the premium products are. There's no Thunderbolt 3 on this either, and that's not surprising because it's an AMD laptop. I mean, it is possible to add Thunderbolt to an AMD laptop, but it is still an Intel technology, so it would cost extra, you know. So no Thunderbolt 3, no. Though, by the way, that it has pen support with Microsoft's Pen Protocol 2.0. So that pen charges through USB Type-C, and it promises up to 2 days of battery life, supports tilt and all that good stuff. But another thing you're going to notice is that I am not holding the pen because the pen does not ship with the product. And that's really like these little sacrifices are things that you kind of expect to see in, you know, maybe more of a pavilion lineup. But one thing I will tell you is that this particular model right here comes in at $799. Starts at $699. That has a Ryzen 3 4300U. All of them have full HD displays. This one has 8 gigs of RAM and a 256 gig SSD. You can max it out at $1389.99, and that'll get you 16 gigs of RAM and a terabyte SSD and a Ryzen 7 4700U. The thing is, the choice of processor. One other thing, the Ryzen 5 4500U is 6 cores and 6 threads. Comparing that to Intel again, all of Intel's i5s are quad-core, mobile i5s, are quad-core with 8 threads. So they're hyper-threaded. So you get more threads, but fewer physical cores. Now, AMD does make a Ryzen 5 that has their own version of hyper-threading. That's the Ryzen 5 4600U. I don't think I've seen anybody actually using that one yet, but it's there. So again, fewer threads, more physical cores, and that's just something to be aware of. All right, there it is. This is a sexy device. I'm going to say it right now. You can see it's got that silver HP logo, and a lot of times the branding is one of the sexiest parts of a device, which I guess makes sense from a branding perspective, right? Now, we have the hinges have a sort of clean and flat design. Says Envy over here, and it's got the drop jaw hinge for the USB Type A port, micro SD. There's that power port over there, and I really, obviously I'm going to make sure it charges through USB Type C. 3.5 millimeter audio, another USB Type A, and then there's that USB 3.1 Type C port. And like I said, the silver accents are just on the logo actually. On the Spectre, the Nightfall Black one actually has like copper accents, which adds a nice touch, and I can see why they reserved that for the Spectre. Power button is right on the keyboard, so hopefully this boots up now because, all right, good news, it does support charging through USB Type-C. I was a little nervous there because it took a minute or two to light up. Turn the brightness all the way up. This is a 400 nit 1 watt display, and like I said, 1080p. All the models are 1080p. There's no 4K option, but I gotta say it looks pretty good. I don't think you're gonna miss 4K, and of course you're gonna get the best battery life out of full HD versus if you bought something with a 4K display. HP is promising 13.1 hours of battery life of local video playback at 150 nits. So obviously under normal usage, it's probably going to be 6 or 7 hours. So that's pretty cool. They talked a lot about, they do a workshop where they tell us about the product. They talked a lot about everything being included in the keyboard, like that power button, fingerprint sensor. You could mute the mic. There's also a camera shutter button, right? So I just pull this over here. Now, he said that we would be able to close the camera shutter. Oh, and you can see it absolutely does close the camera shutter right there. So it just kind of blocks it like that. That's kind of interesting, I gotta say. It's also interesting to me because HP has had a number of solutions for a camera privacy guard, and this is a new one. Whereas like the Spectre x360 has a little switch on the side, and what that does is it disconnects it internally, and so it does the same with the IR camera. Now I don't know if this is still disconnecting it internally or if it's just a little mechanism up there that's putting a block over it, because it still shows it right on the screen. Where if I couldn't find the button there, see that the camera goes away. If we go to the device manager, we should actually be able to see. So yeah, absolutely. Actually, if we're in the device manager, you see the camera's right there, and then we remove it, it's gone. The camera does not even exist to the PC, and I wonder if that little white mark is just to let the user know that the camera's off. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. I gotta say, I was really worried when it seemed like it didn't charge through USB Type-C, because that's a compromise that I'm not willing to make. I talk about this a lot. You should be able to use all of your regular standard chargers. It's that simple, especially it has a USB Type-C port, Because I was also concerned about some of the compromises that are made here to begin with, which is one, it doesn't ship with the pen. I mean, I understand why there's no Thunderbolt 3, but to a consumer that's buying the device, that does matter. And really just that it does ship with that barrel charger. So and it's like, okay, it ships with the barrel charger, there's no pen included. It's only $800. If you want the pen, you can buy the pen, it's there. Also, remember, Microsoft Pen Protocol is basically N-Trig. So if you've got a Surface Pen lying around, or there's a million third-party pens that you can get that are like $20 on Amazon. Obviously you might want the official HP pen, but there's plenty. And I don't mind when companies don't ship the pen in the box because it allows you to lower the barrier of entry to the device. If you want the pen, you can buy it extra. Or if you need to spend a little bit less right now, you can still buy the PC, and then maybe you could buy the pen down the line if you want it. I'm a big fan of the pen. I use it a lot. I'm kind of bummed that HP didn't send it with the review unit. They did offer reviewers can ask for it and they'll send it, but hey, honestly, I have enough N-Trig pens and I could just use one of them, So yeah, pretty cool device. $800. That Ryzen 5 is impressive from what I've seen from it so far, and I gotta say it's a pretty sexy machine too. So put those two things together for $800. It's a winner as long as it charges through USB Type-C, and it does. So yeah, we're in pretty good shape here. So I do find it kind of interesting that they use two USB Type-A ports and a USB-C port. Thinking about it, most of HP's premium, I'm just thinking out loud now, most of HP's premium PCs have two USB Type-C ports and one Type-A port, and that's swapped around on this one. But I mean, it's also most of them are Intel based and they're Thunderbolt. So obviously there's also no Thunderbolt right now. That'll change. When USB 4 comes along, Thunderbolt's going to be included in it, so you're going to get those 40 gigabit per second data transfer speeds, and obviously you'll be able to use that with AMD PCs, Qualcomm PCs, everything. So anyway, guys, that's it. I'll have a review on this in a few weeks, so stay tuned. I'm Rich from NeoWin. Have a great night.